Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you all had a good weekend. I'll be going over today's trading day. I did take a trade and it was a winning trade, which is pretty nice. This run as of late has been pretty sweet, not gonna lie. So yeah, I'll be going through kind of what I was looking for today. Um, so starting from the news calendar. Not a lot of news this week. No news today. Today's Monday, so I would be only getting on my charts at around 9 or 9:30 in the morning for the equities open. So starting off on the weekly, I know I've been talking about this for a while, but I'm still looking at this kind of higher time frame SMT as still being, in play and valid. We have this previous quarter high SMT, this change in state of delivery, retest of that order block, and it responded very bearishly. I'm expecting price to go to previous quarter low just based on how bearish it's been. So this is kind of a high time frame SMT I'm keeping in mind. When we go to the daily chart, we're still in this bearish range. As I've said before, we also had this previous month high SMT in which YM closes above it, but NQ and ES never took it out. Let me make NQ a little bit bigger here. So overall, still looking at this overall as an IRL to ERL type of play. So we came into this fair value gap and we delivered bearishly from it. I'm expecting for us to come down to this swing low on this daily chart. Then last week we saw price stall a little bit, come back into this daily fair value gap, and we've been kind of dancing around here, but we haven't fully disrespected this daily gap. So, ideally, if we were going to see bearish price action, it would be from this daily gap. But of course, if we show bullishness and invert it, then I would expect higher prices. But base case for now, I'm looking for low prices. When we drop down to the 6-hour chart, we have a previous week low SMT with YM closing below previous week low. But honestly, it's nothing that I'm paying attention to because it's going against my overall bearish narrative on the market. So now the 90-minute. Let me go back to when I was making this journal. This is how the 90-minute looked like before the market opened. So this is that daily gap on NQ, and we see we've been kind of like ranging in it a bit. But something to keep in mind is that on Friday we created a previous day high SMT. ES and NQ closed above previous day high, but YM never even took it out. So going into today, Monday, I was still looking at this previous day high SMT from Friday as being intact and in play because we had a change in state of delivery on all three assets. So even though at the start of the session we had this hidden previous day low SMT, I wasn't paying attention to it because overall I have quite a solid framework to look for sells. Also something to keep in mind, we had this move lower overnight, and now we retraced back into this fair value gap on the 90-minute and seem to be pushing away from it nicely. Overall, I'm pretty bearish. I got bearish high time frame, bearish daily, previous day high SMT. Now the only thing I would need is a low time frame SMT, either 15-minute or 5-minute, to get in and take it to previous day low. This would be my target for today for sells. At the start, before market opened, this is how price looked like on the 50-minute chart. We can see that we had a London high SMT. NQ and ES didn't take out previous session high, but YM did, and that's where we saw that start of the move lower from that 90-minute fair value gap. So this is giving me also more confidence that we can expect low prices. So at 9:30 in the morning, I was expecting either a 5-minute SMT to occur, or maybe a retest of the 15-minute. I was later gonna see. So on the 5-minute, this is how it was at the open. As we can see, all three assets closed above previous 90-minute high, so there was no 5-minute SMT here. But what we did have was this. We came up, ES and NQ did take out previous session high, but we still had a previous session high SMT intact. Why is that? Because YM closed above the body. This is a hidden SMT, and on NQ and NES we never closed a candle body above the highest candle body of previous session. So that means the 15-minute SMT was still intact. So when we saw this move up higher and then this big displacement and this change in the state of delivery, this is when I entered this trade on the 15-minute chart. Right, so now I'll get into kind of like the trade management side of things. This was it was a really big stop loss on this trade, and it was only like 1.2 risk to reward to previous day low, but I still took it nonetheless because I was kind of viewing it as like a base hit type of trade. And as you can see, when I took this screenshot, price had already retraced pretty heavily into drawdown. But one thing I was keeping in mind, this is something that I've been kind of like paying attention to a lot, which is how price reacts to the opening price of the order block, this change in state of delivery. So funny thing is, when I go now to trade management side of things, let me go here. Right. So this, it tapped into this order block right here. And when it tapped into it, I was looking at like the lower time frames, and we started to react very nicely away from it. So when we got to around like the same price I had entered before, like break even, what I did was, my original position was up here. I actually added a bit more to my position, and then I brought stops up to the candle bodies, because I wouldn't want to see price go anywhere past here, because we already tapped in to this order block's opening price, which is at a deep retracement of our position. It already tapped into it and reacted bearishly from it. I wouldn't want to see price come back up here. If it came back up here, it's probably going to go up all the way here. So what I did was I added a bit more to my position, and I brought stops down to the candle bodies. My entry wasn't like to the tick perfect, it was a little bit lower. It was like a 1.87 R to the previous day low target. And funnily enough, that reaction from the order block was very telling. We responded bearishly from it and may have stalled a little bit, taken some time, but we eventually got that push down. When we started displacing here to the downside, I brought stops to break even, not wanting to see us come back from here, and we ended up displacing all the way to previous day low target, which I took the trade just a little bit before it hit there. Yeah, either way, it was a pretty nice day. If I'm going to my funded accounts, my funded account is just one. So $462 on the day on this funded account. And on my FTMO, actually, let me just show you. On my funded account, I entered actually on this retracement. I was a bit fortunate, and then took it all the way down here. And then on my FTMO account, you can see I had two positions open, and they both add up to around $1,600 or $1,700. So yeah, that was my trade for the day. overall, what I was the most impressed with was with me being able to recognize that this reaction from this order block was very telling, and I made a decision to add a bit more to my position and cut risk. So like the risk that I had on the table was exactly the same as my original position when it was up here, but just it was a tighter position with a better risk reward to the target. So yeah, that was it for the day. Pretty stoked overall. On my funded account, I think I just need one more $100 day to be eligible for my first payout, and that'll be awesome. On the FTMO account, I started this YouTube channel and I was like minus 1.5% in drawdown, and now I'm at plus 9.3%. So this has been a really nice run for me lately. It's been really cool. February has been looking pretty nice. $5,000 for February. So yeah, things are looking pretty good. I hope this trade was insightful. I hope I hope you enjoyed this video, and kind of moving forward, on the 90-minute chart, I can see the idea playing out nicer now. Like, we responded nicely off this daily gap today all the way to this target. Overall, I'd be expecting continued lower prices to either this swing low on the daily and then finally that previous weekly low target. So yeah, continuing to be more inclined to look for sells since we've been having these bearish reactions. And yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.